Okay, so picking up. What are the main ideas? So, some of the main ideas that I think are relevant in this text are racism and police brutality, dueling identities and double consciousness, the power of language, community and loyalty, and the cycle of poverty and crime. So, with racism and police brutality, that's present with Khalil and the whole, that's what the whole book is basically. Um, Dueling identities and double consciousness is kind of relevant with Star, like Williamson Star and Garden Heights Star, and her two different things there, as well as her kind of dealing with, oh, should I talk or should I not? Because she said that she always said that she would be the loudest one if something happened to someone that she knew or was friends with. The power of language, that's kind of like with the Tupac thing, like the quote, the Thug Life quote, all of that. Community and loyalty is relevant with the Garden Heights community being there and backing each other up. And like Star's still close with his family, even though she may not have talked to them in a long time, things like that. And the cycle of poverty and crime is relevant because that's kind of why all this happens. Um, People in Garden Heights or places like Garden Heights, like in the real world, people who are in poverty, there's a higher rate of crime in poverty. People are more likely to get involved with drugs and things like that. How is this topic relevant in society today? Hello. We see racial discrimination and police brutality in our society every day. It's all over the news. It's happening all over the world. Every person of color has more than likely experienced some form of racism or racial discrimination at least once in their life. It is a huge issue within our society today. With the killing of George Floyd recently, the killing of Breonna Taylor recently, all the riots in Louisville, Kentucky, and all over the world, it's been in shambles, and it's all what is happening in this book is what is happening in our world right now. So it's very relevant for our society today, like very relevant. What is Angie Thomas trying to say with this piece? She's addressing the issue. Some people may think this is a hard topic to discuss, and that's why it doesn't get taught or addressed the way that it should. And in turn, that's why nothing ever changes. Angie Thomas is trying to tell the world that this is real. This is happening and that Black Lives Matter, Khalil's life mattered, everyone's lives matter. She is saying that it doesn't matter who you are, what color your skin is, what neighborhood you live in, or what school you go to. Your life matters and you deserve to live. Okay, so we are through just kidding. The 7 elements of culture. This it's going to tie into one of your worksheets. The 7 elements of culture are social organization. This is the family patterns and social classes of a culture. Customs and traditions, which is the way people act, what they wear, what they eat, and their laws. Number 3 is language, communication by word of mouth. Number 4 is religion, a system of beliefs that answers questions about the meaning of life. Number 5 is art and literature. This is the ways people entertain themselves, the stories they tell, and how they dance. It's also the music they listen to and their artwork. Number 6 is forms of government, the people or groups that control the people and provide/enforce the laws. And number 7 is economic systems, the method used by society to produce and distribute goods and services. So those are the 7 elements of culture. I'm going to touch on that just in a minute when I pull up the worksheets to go over that. So I'm going to pull those up real quick. Okay. So this is the evaluating 7 elements of culture. Question 1, rank the elements of culture in order from most important to least important. So you're just going to go through and whatever you thought was most important, you're going to put here. What you thought was least important, you put here, and kind of organize those through there. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Okay, number 2 is which element do you believe is the most important? Why? And use specific reasoning to support your claim. So I'm going to give you another minute to do that. And this is you're just going to explain what you put here for that one and why you put it there. And then lastly, number 3, which element do you believe is the least important and why? and use specific reasoning to support your claim. So you're going to talk about what you put here and why you thought it was the least important one. So I'll give you a minute to finish that up, and then we'll move on to our next worksheet. Okay, so the last thing I'm having you guys do today is this writing exercise, and it's elements of culture writing exercise. So the prompt here is the hate you give by Angie Thomas an accurate depiction of Black culture in the 21st century? Why or why not? And that needs to be about one paragraph, at least one paragraph. I would like more. You can write more if you want more, but it has to be at least one paragraph. So I'm going to give you all time to do that, and then we'll close class with discussing what we're going to do in the next class and what I need done before we get back for the next class. So y'all write this and then just turn it into your tray in the front of the classroom when you're done, and then sit back down and we'll close class with that discussion. Okay, guys. So for our next class, you should have been doing your close reading questions as we were discussing through class and things like that. So for next class, I want you to have all your close reading questions done for chapters 1 through 6, and we will go over those in the next class. Also, the next few chapters you need to read for the next class, because we're going to discuss those next class also. You don't have to read all of them, but at least like skim through, kind of read a summary, and we're going to discuss that and kind of read through that in class as well. And that is all I have for you guys today. So thank y'all for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you at our next class.